Systems Department. Now, in many cases, these academic leaders were supported by industry experts, ensuring that our recommendations balance innovation with real-world need and responsibility. This report represents months of collaborative work exploring how artificial intelligence can strengthen Rhode Island's economy, improve government services, and expand opportunity, while also identifying where guardrails, workforce supports, and policy guidance are needed. Our vision looks to the governor's 2030 plan and beyond, with a focus on improving academic outcomes and raising household incomes through strategic, responsible AI initiatives. Again, raising academic outcomes and raising household incomes has been a mantra and a primary focus for the government. That was our guiding North Star, if you will, as we went through our work in developing this report. Now, we see significant opportunities through programs like Real Jobs Rhode Island, expanding AI learning within the governor's 365 learning centers, and embedding AI education throughout K through 12 and post-secondary education. Our goal is clear. Every student in every grade, in every major, should have access to AI learning opportunities. So Rhode Island develops a complete, resilient, and AI-ready workforce. The recommendations in this report chart a path forward that positions Rhode Island as a leader in responsible AI adoption, one that embraces innovation while protecting workers, businesses, and communities, and ensures the benefits of AI are broadly shared. So with that, I think now we're going to Chris Parisi, the vice chair of the task force, and I just want to again thank everyone who participated in this effort. We had great support from both members of the task force, the academic leads, and other resources that we brought to bear. It was an honor to lead this task force on behalf of the governor, and I again appreciate the governor's leadership and vision for who he wants to be for that. With that, I'll turn it over to Chris.
Thank you, Congressman Langevin. You have been an incredible leader as chair of this Rhode Island AI task force. I mean, let's all take a second here what we're talking about. AI is one of the most transformative technologies that we will all experience in our lifetime, and Rhode Island is being proactive, right? We have this task force that delivered us a roadmap of how we can ensure that we stay ahead and that we mitigate any risks to ensure that Rhode Island can be a leader in this AI-driven future. And one of the roles I had as vice chair is to ensure that we were inclusive of everyone involved here, so that it wasn't just the voices of the 20 some odd task force members. We also had a fact-finding team that included industry leaders and business leaders that were industry specific. But I wanted to take that further, and what we did was we also had a survey sent out to the public where we had hundreds of responses where they talked about what are the opportunities, what are the risks, what are they scared about, and that really helped us form our draft. But then we really even took it another step further and hosted a fireside chat, as we called it, which the first half of the session was myself leading it with Dr. Tim Henry and Congressman Langevin, updating the public on what exactly is this AI task force all about. But most importantly, that second half was listening to the public. And it was a Q&A session, and there were a lot of questions, and some questions were really just statements, as we can all appreciate. But that was great, because that's what we wanted to do. We wanted to hear from the people. We wanted to ensure that what they were saying and concerned about and excited about was included in this task force here. And that's what we did. This is a blueprint to ensure Rhode Island's going to be a leader in this AI-driven future. I'm excited to be a part of this, from this idea that I had many years ago to the governor listening, and hats off to our governor. He could have easily punted this, but he decided that, you know what, I'm going to stay ahead of the game. We're going to be proactive. I'm going to create an executive order. I'm going to create this task force. I'm going to have someone really good lead it in Congressman Langevin. And that's where we are today. We're really excited to deliver this report and excited for all of you to view it. But the work is not done. This is just the beginning. We need all of you, all Rhode Islanders, all business leaders, every elected official to really take this serious. Again, this is the most important thing that we're doing right now. Believe me, the most transformative technology is going to affect how we work, how we live, how we learn, and we need all of us to come together to ensure that we implement the guidance found in this AI task force report. Thank you, and I'll pass it off to Dr. Tim Henry, who will run through the findings.
All right, I'm going to be up here as soon as I turn this on. There we go. Okay, now it's on. As I go through the findings, there are 3 general areas that we're going to lay out the findings. The first are ways that Rhode Island can differentiate itself from other states. That was really important to us. We wanted to look at what our strengths are, what resources we have here in the state, how can we best utilize those to set ourselves apart in the AI workspace. Second, there were cross-cutting themes. As the Congressman mentioned, there were 6 different industry sectors that we looked at, but there were some themes that ran across all 6 of those sectors, and so I'm going to address those themes in the second part of the findings. And then the last part are specific areas for each industry sector. And this is really important because a lot of the opportunities in each of the industry sectors, they can start and take advantage of right now. They don't need to wait for funding from the government. They don't need to wait for direction necessarily from the state. They can take advantage of these right now in their own industry sectors. So I'm going to go ahead and start. As you can see up there, probably our primary differentiator is going to be our education ecosystem and workforce development. We are going to focus on developing an AI-ready workforce. We're going to look at what we have right now, our workforce currently, and upscale them to be able to be responsible, ethical users of artificial intelligence and being able to understand where artificial intelligence can best be used in the workplace so that they can take the businesses that they work for right now, the industries that they're part of right now, and advance those forward with artificial intelligence. The second piece of this is going to be creating a new AI-ready workforce. So we'll take the workforce we have, upskill them in AI, and then we'll look at our education ecosystem and start to integrate AI throughout as much as we can, not just to help the students learn how to use it as they go through, but to teach them about AI and how to develop their own AI skills going forward, so that by the time they get through high school, by the time they get through college, they will be ready to jump into the workplace with AI skills. Now, numerous studies have shown, and I didn't believe this at first when somebody told me, so I looked it up, and there are multiple studies about this, show that employers are looking for AI workers. They prefer to have somebody who doesn't have a lot of experience but is comfortable and efficient with AI versus somebody who has 10 years or so of experience but is not really efficient or proficient with AI. And so we're looking to build that workforce, that somebody who comes out, they may not have experience yet because they just graduated from college, but they know how to leverage AI in the workplace so that they will be able to help their organization move forward. The second piece that's going to help differentiate Rhode Island is our collaboration across all the different sectors. I think the task force was a really good example of this, where we had people from multiple different sectors working together to produce this report, collaborating. And throughout the state right now, there is a lot of collaboration amongst the different industries, amongst academia, and with the government. We are a small state, and there's a lot of advantages to that. And so we want to leverage that as we go forward with artificial intelligence. Then there's 2 large opportunities we have that can set us apart also. You have the defense industries and the maritime tech, which we have the Ocean Tech Hub now. We have a strong defense industry, manufacturers. we're going to really focus on how can AI help them in the workplace to really make it an attractive place for workers to come here, and also for other businesses to come here to take advantage of the workers that we have. And then the life sciences sector, we already have a life sciences hub. We're looking to leverage the resources and the research that we have done in that area to move forward and to, again, take advantage of AI in those areas. So the main focuses going forward from here is going to be our workforce development, preparing them for AI, and then our cross-sector collaboration. And you're going to see that come up multiple times. So the theme, and part of how we're going to differentiate ourselves, as we went through the workforce and got feedback from each of the different sectors, especially in the finance sector, one of the things that was keeping them from moving forward was having workers who understood AI and was able to implement AI. And so part of what's going to set us apart is workforce development, but that's also part of that's driven by the fact that so many of our sectors need workers who are comfortable with AI. The second piece is going to be government leadership. Looking at the government itself implementing AI in ways that can show successes to help reduce some of the barriers that other industries or other organizations feel in adopting artificial intelligence. And then also, as we start to implement guidance and regulation, we want to encourage the state government to align with other states and the regions, so that as we move forward, it's easier for us to work together, not just within the state, but outside the state in the region. We're looking to develop a framework for different organizations to implement AI. We're not looking to have the government in this area lay out strict regulations about AI. What we're looking to do is pull a cross-sector group together that is going to advise. They'll have representatives from academia, representatives from industry, representatives from government that will lay out guidance and best practices for the implementation of AI. And then the last cross-cutting theme that came out was the fact that, again, collaboration. The collaboration we have in Rhode Island is going to give us the ability to scale up what we do with artificial intelligence. With academia and industry working together to do research, to do the training for industry, and then the government working with all of it to kind of make it a little bit easier moving forward. And then for each of the different sectors, the report lays out several opportunities for each sector to incorporate AI, ways that AI can help that sector really move forward quickly and increase their productivity through the use of AI. I think that, let me just take a second here. In each of the sectors, there's several different areas laid out. First of all, it starts with the opportunities for that particular sector to work through and take advantage of AI. Then it lays out different steps that the sectors, those industries can implement in order to take advantage of the opportunities. And from there, it goes into more details. So there's a lot in the report to go over that. This is kind of just a high-level layout of what it is for each of the different sectors. But what came out of it that's going to kind of help all the different sectors is AI RI, which is going to be our hub that's going to be a resource. This hub is going to provide enablement services. So every industry, every sector is not going to be an expert in artificial intelligence. And this hub is going to have experts that are available for it. We're going to start with academics and different organizations in the state that already are comfortable with artificial intelligence, that already have success. We want this to be a resource for small businesses to understand how they can implement AI, which is one of the real challenges that small businesses have, is really knowing what they can do with AI and educating small business owners. Also, it's going to provide resources for the public, training for the public to understand what responsible use of AI is, what the risks are, and how to ethically use AI as they go forward. It's also going to be a statewide resource to provide AI resources so that organizations that want to try out different areas of AI can come and they can use the resources at the hub in order to sandbox or test out different algorithms, different techniques, different implementations for their organization going forward so that they don't have to risk it on their own. And it'll also come and develop best practices and publish those best practices in accordance with, coordinated with the framework organization that'll be there. So I am going to stop there. And the idea is that we're going to be leveraging what we already have in order to implement this so that we can start moving forward right away. So with that, I'll turn it back over to the Congressman.
Very good. Dr. Henry, thank you very much for that overview of the task force findings. Just a couple of takeaways. And I really do commend you for your leadership in pulling this all together. Again, thank you. But the key takeaways from this is that the task force report is recommending that Rhode Island produce AI-ready graduates and we have an AI-ready workforce. This should be looked at as a blueprint, a path forward. It should not be looked at as a one and done. Rather, this is a living, breathing document that will take time over years to implement, and we will grow as we go. So as we think about implementation, we need to take the long view, just as we did when the internet entered the workplace. And programs like Real Jobs Rhode Island, the 365 Learning Centers, and our K-12 and higher education curricula must continue to evolve. The governor has already established an AI Center of Excellence, and agencies, of course, are beginning to engage with our academic partners to move forward. We recently had a discussion with one of the department directors, and this is an exciting time. And again, I commend the governor for his vision and leadership, putting the task force together to make sure that Rhode Island is leading. So with that, I'll stop there, and we'll go to questions.
Yeah, we'll open up for Q&A. Before we do that,
He's actually walking in.
I know he's going to be here in a second, but Brian, I don't know if you want to get up here too for Q&A. Do you guys all know Brian Carter, who's our Chief Digital Officer? If you have questions about what government is doing with AI, let them come down here too. So, thanks.
Do I still get to introduce the governor?
Oh, please, sir, please.
Governor, where do you want me to go?
Welcome to Rhode Island College.
Happy to be here.
And thank you for choosing us. Thank you for choosing a couple of key leaders that we have in AI technology to lead your task force and lead the education component of it. We're very proud of the resources that we've developed here because of your investment in the Cybersecurity and Emerging Technologies Institute. So just pleased to have you here. You are truly a governor with an economic development vision, spelled J-O-B-S.
Yes.
J-O-B-S, fueled by knowledge in AI.
Thank you.
Hey,
Yeah,
Governor,
thank you.
you came in at a great time. We just completed the overview of the findings of the report.
Great.
And as I said to the just a moment ago, the high level takeaways are that the task force is recommending that Rhode Island produces AI ready graduates and that we have an AI ready workforce. So I'll turn it over to you.
Yes, Congressman, thank you, and thank you everybody that's here today. My apologies, have got a couple things going on in hospitals if anybody's following that issue. That was a long call, but we're making some progress. Yeah, we're here at RIC because place where this whole rollout of cybersecurity, AI can be centered. And then with communication going out to all the other, not only just the other academic institutions, but also the business community and the nonprofit community, tying it all together. Chris Tracy is, thank you, Chris, and Congressman Langevin for kind of heading this up. But Chris knows the business application of how important this is. And I do too. And so, artificial intelligence is a force, it's not a fad. It's something that we want to really make sure that we're front and center on and leading the way. And what a better place to do it than right here at Rhode Island College. With the work that's happening in our Cybersecurity Institute, with Congressman Langevin and others. I'm pleased that we're in a spot right now where this, the task force report, the base that we build on, and use this as a launching pad, right, for the work that is coming our way. So we're going to make sure that we understand that there's positives that really we can get from this, and we're going to make sure that we protect the people of Bryan and the state of Rhode Island from any of the negatives that we could have with the applications that could be out there. But I'm going to just say again, Rhode Island College, Mr. President, is the place that we're going to continue to activate this effort. And and I'll just summarize the work that we're doing, and I think everybody knows it, that our plan is to really raise academic outcomes for people. That's why we're going to make the Hope Scholarship a permanent piece, at least with General Assembly approval. We want to make sure our young people reach their potential. We want to make sure that we're doing everything we can to increase incomes in the state of Rhode Island. This is an integral, important piece to do just that. And we want to make sure we're healthy. And finally, we want to make sure we're building things, so I can't wait to see the building for the Cybersecurity Institute. When that gets, when the ground gets broken on that, that's going to be a very proud day. But we need to make sure that we're keeping people working, building things that matter. And those things will pay off for dividends for decades to come. I'm very excited about how we're going to proceed, Congressman. And with your help, we'll be directed in a place that's going to be a benefit to the people of the state of Rhode Island. So thank you for having me here today. Appreciate it.
Thanks. Anybody have any questions?
It was said during the presentation that there are some things in here that there's recommendations for different industries, that those industries can start working towards those things now. But for the things that would require, state financial investment, what would that take to move the ball forward? Like what?
Yeah, so let me jump in here first, and I'll start, and then and others want to chime in. This is all about starting off with using existing resources smarter. And wherever, of course, additional resources can be brought to bear, we're going to be most on in turn to really recommend to do that, whether it's state or federal, but with existing resources smarter. So when you think about real jobs, every component to what they do, should evolve and adapt to having an AI component included with that. Just as in academia, we're recommending that in K-12 and post-secondary education, that curricula incorporate artificial intelligence with it. So Commissioner Gilkey, of course, and Commissioner Monty Green were part of the task force, and they understand the mission here and what we're recommending. But in order for Rhode Island to be competitive going forward, this is not just a one and done. It will, over time, continue to evolve and adapt as we grow.
So the report recommends putting owners in charge of the implementation of these 4 different areas. So what does that process look like? Is this a new state agency? Is it something within ETSS? Is it something, how does it work?
So in every area of government and in academia, we're recommending that you're looking at how to adopt AI and having a kind of a governance structure within it. So I know already at the President Warner just mentioned at Rhode Island College, they're doing exactly that. The governor already, I know, has and to the Department of Administration, 2 things. They created the AI Center of Excellence, and And I'd love to have Brian kind of give some details on where that stands, but also I know that Director Wilmer has an internal working group at the Department of Administration, and you look at how to implement AI going forward. In each business, by the way, should be doing that same type of thing. How are we going to adopt AI, but have a internal governance structure? How it affects our employees, our workers? How do we upskill them? And so we are looking to give guidance to how to implement that throughout, whether it's business, whether it's government, whether it's academia.
Thank you, Congressman. Yes, I can expound a little bit on the Data Analytics and AI Center of Excellence. We're in the final phases of tentative award to bring in a vendor to support that effort. But your question about where will these leaders be pulled together, that's the AI RI hub. We'll bring thought leadership from each of these sectors to help shape the frameworks.
Is there a timeline for that to actually begin? Or?
The Data Analytics and AI Center of Excellence, we're looking to award before the end of the spring to bring that vendor on board. And we're going to continue to collaborate with the Institute on establishing the AI RI effort.
Yeah, in AIRI, we want that to be a place where businesses become small or medium and large as time goes forward, where they can use and understand trusted AI tools and how it might impact their business. So some might be on the back office, others would be in some of their main operations, and understand how AI works. I'll give you an example of what I mean. This was just on the news recently, but it's a big example of how AI can have a big impact directly on the ground. Southern Company, one of the largest utilities in the country, just used AI, both data and the AI model that they built, and prior to the storm, we were able to better pre-position assets so that it limited the amount of damage that was done or the downtime when the damage that the storm caused, and get utilities back up and running. That's just a national example of how an AI model can use. We want to make sure that Rhode Island is in the position to do just that. That use the data that they have and experiment with the models, the algorithms, to see how it's going to impact their business, but they'd be using trusted AI tools. And with academic leadership, we're going to help provide that trusted resource through this AI RI hub that we're calling for to be created in the task force report.
In terms of those trusted tools, did the task force come up with any preference or opinion on whether to use like frontier models or something open source, or what is their preference for kind of technology, depending on the application?
Yeah, and I'll let Dr. Henry chime in on that.
No, there's no preference at this time. I think it's, as we move forward and start to look at what the best practices are and what's needed in each of the different industries, those decisions will be made at that time.
And are these the kind of things that would be considered when you're creating this secure and stable technology stacks for the statewide under the framework section?
Yeah, we'll start with just laying out the security in each region. Security is, or each level. Security is one of the most critical factors of all of this. And so we want to make sure that the AI implementations are secure going forward. And so we'll start at different levels of the different, as you go up through the stack and do the implementation. There'll probably be a core set of tools, and then each industry will be able to build on that depending on what the needs are at the time.
I had a question based on my prep for this event, and I think maybe Chris and Tim, you can speak to it. I know you had a slide at one point that had several different industry sectors that you had all been communicating with, surveying and stuff. Who's most ready to start doing some of this work, if you're looking at any of those industry sectors?
Finance.
Can you
There's
talk
no
about
question
that
about it.
some more?
Yes, finance has already started. I mean, part of their motivation has been fraud detection and other, they've been using AI in different forms for a number of years, especially, with the data science backgrounds that a lot of their staff has that work in this area. What has come out of finance, and they have been probably most vocal about this is the need for workers. What's holding them back right now is they don't have an AI workforce. People who understand AI, who can implement it safely and securely with financial and insurance type applications.
So with the financial, them needing AI workers, is that they need high level, engineers, or is it they need workers who are like willing to use the tools that they give them?
They need people who understand AI. I guess probably the term would be an AI solutions engineer. Somebody who understands AI and can step in and use artificial intelligence to help achieve the business goals that they're looking for. So it's not somebody who, it's not like they have an AI application ready and nobody knows how to use it. It's they know the advantages of AI and they want to have people who can help them implement it going forward.
Chris, and some of your outreach, any of the other industry sectors doing something interested in AI right now, or are they in an exploratory phase?
Yeah. You got to look. So if you look at small businesses, a lot of them is all about how can I train my workforce and what the heck do I do, right? This is very scary. They're running a small business. So what I see a lot, also running the Rhode Island Small Business Coalition, is, hey, I want to use this technology, but I need training on how to do it from a business owner standpoint. How do I lead my team? But then also, how do I train my workforce? So this report is great for small businesses because they're going to get provided resources, guidance, and having an AI-ready workforce will help small businesses, but also larger businesses that would want to move and stay here so that they can utilize that workforce.
Are there any particular industries that have shown resistance to adopting it, or?
Health care, is that what you were saying?
No, I was going to say manufacturing is. I wouldn't say manufacturing is. No industry was resistant. I would say manufacturing is. It's something that they have not really considered yet. They're not at that point.
And so we want to get entities comfortable with, where to go and how to use these tools. At the same time, we also in areas of academia, for example, and Dr. Henry is a practitioner of front lines. Teachers and students are already experimenting with, to some degree or another, using artificial intelligence. And again, the governor's mission, we want to do us to be forward-leaning, is not have our heads in the sand. We want to be leading on AI and recognizing that in the classroom, if it's going to be used, we want to make sure it's used effectively and ethically. And AI can help teachers develop curricula, for example. And students can use it to hopefully fuel their intellectual curiosity. We want to make sure that it's being used in the right way. If kids are using it and it's fueling their intellectual curiosity, that's a good thing. If students are going to use it to cheat and cut corners, that's not okay. And we want to make sure that we're forward-leaning so that we have our hands around how we're going to benefit from this in a positive way while eliminating the downsides.
And RIDE even has sponsored a workshop just 3 weeks ago, specifically to help K-12 administrators develop effective AI policies and look at how to implement them.
We want to be able to use AI to enhance and further the students' critical thinking skills and make sure it's not lost by use of AI. And making sure this is why we want to make sure they're forward-leaning, looking at this now and as we move forward.
Dr. Warner, I think you want to.
Let me just take a crack at the question about resistance, and I think it's fair to say, as I look out at our faculty here, we have early adopters that are really enthusiastic about the progress of AI and helping to support instruction and in student learning. And we run the gamut. We have those waiting for solutions to help them in their classes and so on. And then we have skeptics who are concerned that don't use AI to write a paper for you. Use AI to help sharpen a paper or that sort of thing. So there's a genuine concern about what students are learning and how AI can be used as a tool. So what we're going to be doing in March or April, I have every semester a presidential forum where we frame both sides of a discussion and debate, and we've chosen AI as the spring topic, where we'll have the proponents of AI technology come in, and then those who are saying, well, hold on, not so fast, let's look at the ethical concerns, let's look at the student learning issues and so on. So there'll be more details about a date and time, but we'll bring in some national experts at that time to frame out both sides of the issue.
So we're just about ready to wrap. We can take one more question if you want one. Yeah.
Sorry. Hi. I was wondering if the AI task force has looked into how all this AI implementation will place potential strains on energy infrastructure and energy resources in Rhode Island? And if so, will the cost of energy potentially be raised for ordinary citizens?
Well, I think that is pretty clear in my State of the State address. We're trying to contain costs or lower costs, and we're going to do everything we can to make that happen. And hopefully the General Assembly will give ratepayers about $1 billion worth of relief for both the business community and our residential accounts. There is going to be a need long-term for more energy. I think that there's no question about that. So we're going to have to, as a state, look at an all-of-the-above type of strategy for energy sources, whether it's the offshore wind, or whether it's the solar, or whether it's nuclear, or whether it happens to be a gas line that comes in and services the area. And we realize that if you put in one of these centers that you're talking about, that it's going to have a big drain on electricity. So we got to be very careful with how we proceed there. And not get ahead of ourselves, and potentially, as we're exploring partnering in with bordering states where we can maybe access some of their centers, that we can do, phase it in a way that we're not impacting our energy rates.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, everybody.
Just want to say thank you to the media for coming. Like, this is really important. So these are really great questions, and let's continue to get this word out. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
That's good.